Okay, so for today's deep dive, let's unpack this. We're going to trace how one of history's greatest riddles actually played out.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the judgment narratives in Revelation, specifically the harlot and the beast, and how they took shape through the Roman Empire and the early church.
And what's so useful is that the sources give us these really clear, powerful working definitions right from the start.
So who are these players?
Well, the beast, it pretty consistently refers to powerful nations, political forces that set themselves up against God.
Okay, so the state, in a way.
Exactly. And the harlot is the false prophet. It's a religious system that basically abandons its mission for its own worldly desires.
And the imagery for that is, I mean, it's just shocking. John sees this woman, this harlot, and she is drunk with the blood of the saints.
It's intense, a religious power that is actively persecuting the faithful. And that's the historical riddle we have to solve.
How did that happen?
Well, the beast that she rides has 7 heads, and those are a timeline of great nations. 5 are gone: Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece. But then it says, the one that is now.
Which, for John writing at the time, is the Roman imperial period.
That's the one. And that connection between the prophecy and documented history is really the hinge for this whole thing.
Right, because at that point in history, the Roman Empire, starting with someone like Nero, saw Christianity as an enemy of the state.
A huge enemy. They persecuted believers ruthlessly for, nearly 200 years? Just imagine that. 2 centuries of hiding, of fear.
And this is where the story takes a wild turn.
A complete pivot. The sources all point to 313 AD. The Emperor Constantine suddenly legalizes Christianity.
After seeing the Christos symbol in a dream right before a major battle.
That's the story. And just like that, official persecution ends. Instead, the church gets favor. It gets political protection.
And that's the million-dollar debate, isn't it? Was this a real spiritual conversion, or was it just a brilliant political move to, unify a crumbling empire?
And whether it was genuine or not, what the sources focus on is the impact. What happened next?
Which was?
Well, the immediate consequence was Constantine himself, who wasn't a theologian, starts getting involved in doctrinal disputes, like at the Council of Nicaea.
So an emperor is now enforcing church doctrine.
Exactly. And the goal shifts from, say, spiritual truth to imperial unity. It introduces political power into theological debates.
So the faith of this small, persecuted group suddenly becomes the religion of a superpower.
And to make it work for everyone under the Pax Romana, the now universal or Catholic religion starts absorbing things.
You mean like pagan festivals, superstitious ideas?
All of it. To make it more acceptable to the masses, it becomes this kind of composite, a bibimbap-like religion.
And that blend, that's the harlot. But it was enabled by the beast, by Rome. How did that work?
Because the Roman Caesars had always held a really important title, Pontifex Maximus,
The chief pontiff.
the highest priest of all the pagan religions. For centuries, that title fused civic and religious power into one person.
So if the emperor is already the head of all pagan faiths, and then he converts,
He brings all of that authority and prestige with him, and it gets mapped onto the Christian structure.
wow.
And the final piece of that puzzle, the final blend, happens around 382 AD. The Emperor Gratian, who was a devout Christian, he refuses to be a pagan high priest. He gives up the title Pontifex Maximus.
So who takes it?
It's eventually adopted by the Bishop of Rome, the Pope.
So the highest religious authority over all pagans gets transferred from the political power, the beast, to the religious power, the harlot.
That's the moment the blend is complete. And the very institution that was once persecuted now has the empire's political machine behind it. And, well, in later centuries, it fulfills that prophecy of becoming drunk with the blood of anyone who dissented.
So if you connect all those dots, the big insight seems to be about what power does, even when it starts out with good intentions.
Right. It acts like a catalyst. It transforms a mission into a political structure. The Roman Catholic Church set its direction toward governance and prestige, not just the word. And that initial turn meant it became, well, a corrupted system. Kind of like the Titanic, just slowly sinking institutionally.
Which brings this whole historical deep dive right back to you. It makes you reflect on the very beginning of your own faith or any big project. Are you being meticulous about setting the right course based on your core values? Or are you maybe adding convenient worldly things that just feel good?
And that really is the question, isn't it? When you start something new, are you building on a pure foundation?
Hmm.
Or are you creating this mixed compromise thing just because you attached stuff that was easy or desirable? Because that tiny, subtle misdirection at the start, that's what guarantees you end up somewhere you never intended to go.